Let's try that again. Get some new internet around here, man. Yeah, ain't getting it done, man. This nigga a trash can, you understand me? But 30 and 4, man, book of Proverbs. I need to start doing that stuff out of nowhere too, you feel me? Like God. And the doggone hotspot from the phone won't even get the job done. Who have established the ends of the earth? What is his son's name? His name means blameless. Now let's look at it, certain thing. There you go. Right? You understand me? Now, of course, y'all should already know what the words are saying, but we don't want that. We don't want gathered. But it said it gathered the wind or the ruach in his fist. But we do want fists. And it's kofin. And it is handful of your hand. Kot, pay, and noon. So what is that simple? He's separated by the words of life. Simple as that. He's gathered the wind in his fist. Let's look at how he gathered the wind in his fist. John chapter 20, if you would. Praise the Lord. John chapter 20, if you would. 20 and 24. John 20 and 24. And it says, this was not with them when Yahushua came. The other disciples therefore said unto him, we have seen the Lord. But he said unto them, except I shall see in his hands the print of his nails, and put my finger in the print of the nail, and thrust my hand into his side, I will not believe. After 8 days again, his disciples were within, Thomas with them. Then came Yahushua, the doors being shut, and stood in the midst, and said, Shalom be unto you. Then say he to Thomas, reach hither your finger, and behold my hands. Reach hither your hand, and thrust it in my side, or the hollow of the hand. Kofin, the separation of the words of life. Who care? Only reason I ain't in the grad because I don't know be here. I ain't gonna be fly through. You have to see. Praise you, who Monduta came out of the hospital, so she might be here when they slide through. John 10 and 22. And when they're at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was the Mashiach, tell us plainly. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and you believe not. The works that I do in my Abba's name, they bear witness of me. But you believe not, because you're not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father, which gave them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Abba's hand. Me and my Abba are one. I said, he that gathers is the son of the blameless. Now, he just told you he and his Father are one, and he is the one who has gathered the wind in his fist, or he separated them by the words of life, because his sheep hear his voice and they follow him. Keep this in mind. All this y'all will are going to refer back to the priest. We may or may not get to the priest tonight in a greater detail, but we probably will begin to, I think we have one more name in Ezra chapter 2, but I might be mistaken. Now let's come back to Proverbs 4, right? He said, who bound waters in a garment? When you look at waters, you know, that's my aim. We look at garment. Now we're going to look at the word garment, and that is simla, right? Your covering garment, your raiment, a cloth, your clothes, your wrapper mantle. With that, you got shine, ma, and hay. So you can sit back and look at how Yahusha has taught and paired you to life because of the water or even the didim. Now he says that he has bound waters in a garment. Who have done this? Well, you know from Revelation 16 and 15, he told you not to be caught without your garment so your sin don't show. Matter of fact, Revelation 16 and 15, because I ain't say it right. And when we don't say it right, we have to look at it. In 15, 16 and 15, Revelation. Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watch and keep his garment, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. So this man that gave you a garment because he told you to find linen, clean and right, which is the righteousness of the saints. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. We told you keep your garments white and don't let your head lack no ointment. So now you look at who has bound the waters in the garment. Well, Yahushua has bound the waters in the garment. Let's take a look at how he did that. Matthew chapter 22. All this still go back to some of that stuff that we were talking about on last week with Yahuwah being your ruler, Yahuwah being your comforter, because you were sown in confusion. So Yahuwah saved you. Praise Alahym. So you sit back and you look at all that, and how did he do it? Because he bound up the wind in his fist, or he bound it up in the hollow of his hand, because all those that are his are in his hand. And that's why he took that nail in the hand, so he could look upon his hand, like it said in Isaiah, and never forget you, like a woman don't forget her nursing child. So then you turn around and you see, okay, something that you could put on your body. Praise Allah. See, we missed that. That's your wedding garment, right? That's what we're going to Matthew 24, right? By the grace of Alahym. That's why we're here. Then saith he to his servants, the wedding is ready, but they which were bidden were not worthy. Go you therefore into the highways, and as many as you shall find, bid them to the marriage. So those servants went out into the highways and gathered together as many as they found, both bad and good, and the wedding was guests. And when the king came to see us, he saw that there was a man who had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, friend, how come you in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then said the king to his servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. But many are called, if you are chosen. Well, why do we look at that regard? Because the Ruach is your wedding garment. It's what gives you access. Revelation chapter 19. 19 and 5. And a voice came out of the throne saying, praise Alahym, all you his servants, and you that fear him, both small and great. And I heard it was the voice of a great multitude, and the voice of many waters, and the voice of mighty thunderings, saying, hallelujah, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of the saints. Well, why is this important? Because we also talked about last week about being a Kadash priesthood, did we not? See, Yahuwah, his mercy endures forever by the grace of his son, Yahushua HaMashiach. So why did we look at that? So now when we're looking at that, priesthood, and now you're a let us look at it out the law. You understand? See what it says. 19, right? 19 and 1, just on general principle. Because I could have came in at 5, but you know, we'll come in at verse 1. Because remember, also in the book of Revelation, chapter 5, it said the Lamb has redeemed us as we kings and priests to our Alahym. So we have to look at that. I guess we'll just look at the word for priest off the top as far as the characters are concerned. And most of y'all know the word for it already, but some of you don't. So we have to go do it for those who don't. It's a very simple word. Most people know it. That didn't work out how I planned it. The wrong doggone button. But let me read this, Matthew, Exodus 19, I should say. In the third month, when the sons of Yasharal, for they were departed from them and were come to the desert of Sinai and pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharal camped before the mountain. Moses went up unto Alahym, and Yahuwah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, thus shall you say to the house of Jacob, tell the sons of Yasharal, you have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all the people. For all the earth is mine unto the sons of Yasharal. Note the key point which would allow them to be a kingdom of priests is that they would have to take hold of his covenant, which takes you right back that you're going to have to take hold of Mashiach. That's the only way. Now, for those of you who don't know, the word for priest is cont. And you got kaf and you got hay for life. Because that's what Revelation chapter 5 says, how you will be able to be, give me a second, y'all willing, that would allow you to become kings and priests. In order for him to become a priest, he had to be subdued. Why do we say that? Matthew chapter 22 again. From Matthew 22, then we very well may grab what Matthew 22 is referencing. It doesn't reference it in its totality. But we're going to read Matthew 22 anyway. Matthew chapter 22, verse 41. From that, Psalms 110. So to understand, to be a kingdom of priests, you got to grab hold of that covenant. And to grab hold of that covenant, you must be subdued to eternal life. Now, I'm going to mention this word here for you for peculiar, which is segula. And I think we've discussed this in times past. But it is something that is possession or a property or value property. It's a treasure. So, of course, you have Mach and you have Gamal and you have Lamah and you have Hay. So in order to, the first thing we just sit back and look at, you look at as a Mach, something is being grabbed hold of. What are you grabbing hold of? Because now you got this Gamal where you're grabbing hold of a path or a way. So now after you done grab hold of that path and way, you see that it's the teachings of the man with raised arms, or Yahushua. This is what makes you this valued property in the sight of Alahym, that you have grabbed hold to the way of the teachings of the man with raised arms, which is still going to take you back into being subdued. And this is again referring to a priesthood change. But we're going to see that there because we have to run all that down, because why? We're talking about our sakes. But let's continue. Matthew 21 and 22, excuse me, my fault. While the Pharisees were gathered together, Yahushua asked them, saying, what think you of Mashiach? Whose son is he? And they said unto him, the son of David. He said unto them, how then David in the Ruach call him Lord, saying, Yahuwah said unto my Lord, sit you on my right hand till I make your enemies your footstool. If David then call him Lord, how is he a son? No man was able to answer him a word, neither do any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. Now let's look at Psalms 110, because it said, what is his son's name? What is his father's name? If you can tell. Well, you're not going to be able to tell either, because you're not going to have the eyes to see, nor ears to hear, nor the heart to understand, if you do not know who has ascended into heaven and bound up the wind in his fist or waters in his garment, because you will not have known what he came for. Because then you will not have hope in the resurrection of the dead, like we read in 1 Corinthians 15. Praise Yahuwah. But nevertheless, Psalms 110. We read verse 1 already in Matthew. Let's take a look at verse 2. Say, Yahuwah shall send the rod of your strength out of Zion, rule you in the midst of your enemies. That is plain. Your people shall be willing in the day of your power, in the beauties of Kadash from the womb of the morning. You have the dew of your youth. That's been a long time since we looked at this verse. It's been a long time. I want you to understand what he is telling you. He said, now that you ain't going to be willing in the day when he slides on his life. That's the day of his power. The day of his power is the day that he was crucified. Because remember, he was crucified in weakness and raised in strength. The day of his power is God, brothers and sisters. That's going to be too late. You ain't going to be willing then. If you wasn't willing to offer yourself before he cracked the sky, you ain't going to be willing to offer yourself when he cracked it. That the gift in secret pacify anger, and the reward in the bosom, strong wrath, which is what we're talking about with wind in the fist. and water's in the garment. You got to have that ruach to soothe that anger, man. Can't soothe that anger and you ain't got it. When he cracks, oh, I'm willing now. I bet you is, you dirty foot slut, you. I bet you is. Niggas always willing to do something when the consequence comes. You got to be willing to do it before the consequence comes. Other than that, that's just fake humility. Won't be accepted. Y'all know that. Let's continue. So then he say, from the beauties of Kadash, from the womb. Something that looks very appealing to the eye. That's what it is. Well, you know when he got his honor in the day of his womb, in the day from the set apart from the womb. We'll grab womb for you, which is Rakam. Y'all know what that is. That's the womb. Bosh, Ka, and me. Go ahead and watch the chief get separated by the Ruach. Go ahead and look at it. Well, what did we just read? If we getting baptized for the dead. So we look at it, you see the beauty of the Kadash from the womb, and going through the words, and that should be evident just by looking at it in English, truth be told. Back to Adam in the garden. They're taken back to the beginning. Pause. They're taken back to the beginning. When he was made at the foundation of or slain at the foundation of the world, or Yahuwah possessed me at the beginning of its way. Because the next thing that it says, Yahuwah is sworn and will not repent. You are a priest forever. It was the order of the priesthood before any man was ever made. But all you hear Bruce scream about is the Levitical priesthood. We'll pause for the cause. Yahuwah willing it tighten up for. Oh, praise as it be the grace of Alahym. That connection will slide back in, but that nigga's holding strong. He don't want to slide back in. There we go. Praise Alahym. And everybody, man, I don't care nothing about no Levitical priesthood. Keep it hot. I don't even know why it's 2020. Dudes still talking about the guys for the priests. Priesthood of Aaron's son. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. That priesthood has been replaced, son. That priesthood been replaced, son. You ain't got no high priest going up. Why you think he got rid of all that stuff, man? Because that's what you put your trust in, the flesh. That's why he got rid of it. He ain't just get, oh, we ain't got to do sacrifice. They allowed these dudes stupid. See, this is how he looking at. See, this nigga think because this high priest keep going up every year making offerings for himself and offering for the people that they strayed. See, they trust in that. He gonna bring that stuff in here one time. Get a second, man. You who are willing. He gonna one time. You understand? And after that one time, oh, y'all got to see me. Y'all got to see me. Y'all got to see me. We don't like that. Oh, I do. It's okay, baby. Don't take your nap. You don't know no better. Man, dude get crossed up and X'd out, man. Don't got no understanding. Because they carnal, they brutish, they stupid. Just set the stage, man. Because I ain't going to get all them priests because we're going to be running it down. And we're going to be talking about a lot of different people if you would permit. It's one of those things where it's a borderline history lesson, but it's familiarizing you with certain characters. Certain people share the same name, but they intersect. But because we were looking at all those men in the priesthood, only right, we just go ahead and run it all the way down because we never went through Zadok properly as I would have desired when we first started in Ezekiel. So that allows us to do that. So praise be to Yahuwah in the name of Yahushua for that. So when we look at Proverbs 30 and 4 again, it said, who have ascended up into heaven or descended? Remember what Yahushua said in John 6 and 62? And if you shall see me ascend on where I was before, because in order for him to ascend, he had to descend. He told you shall see the Malachim of Alahym ascending and descending upon the Son of Man. So we already know who ascended up into heaven and who descended down. Because he told you I didn't come down to do my own will, but my Father's will that sent me. He done already told you this. And clearly, if he tell you what, and if you see me ascend back to where I was before, then you already know he's departed. He had to descend to ascend. But what did he tell you? That he ascended so that he could go into the Kadash of Kadash to forever make intercession on all those who come to Alahym, this, and how he bound the waters in his garments, who have established all the ends of the earth. When we look at who is established, and y'all should know that that's going to be Quam, and that's rise, stand up, rise, establish, or to be confirmed, Kuf, U, and Mean. Let's take a look at Colossians chapter 1, and we'll see who established. Because y'all gonna say the world was made by him, and the world know him not. So we know that Yahushua established that, because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Alahym. Colossians 1 and 12. Matter of fact, make it 15, we get straight to the point. Who is the image of the invisible Alahym, the firstborn of every creature? For by him were all things created that are in heaven, that are in earth, visible, invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him, the body, the house, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased Abba that in him should all fullness dwell, and having made shalom through the blood of his stake, by him to reconcile all things unto himself. By him I say, whether they be the things in earth or things in heaven, regardless of what it is, he had to reconcile us back. He reconciled on earth by the shedding of his blood. He reconciled you in heaven by going into the Kata's temple to make intercession on your behalf. It's not you who are good and merciful. That's why we chose to come over here and look at it. So you can sit back and look at it. And the son did that. And he said, what is his name? What is his son's name? If you can. Well, we know his name is Yahuwah, and his son's name is Yahusha. And all those who put their trust in him are blessed. And why do we say that? Every word of Alahym is pure. This is verse 5 of Proverbs 30. And he's a shield unto them that put their trust in him. See, every word of Alahym is pure. Again, that's that word Sarah. Every word of Alahym will smelt, refine, and test. Sod, Rosh, and Pei, if you remember, the way of the words of the highest. So when they tell you that every word of Alahym tries, it refines. So it's not pure in the sense of being clean. Every word of Alahym will test you and refine you. Let me give you that full definition for that again. It's to smelt, refine, test, prove true. That's why he tell you, right? Matter of fact, what it say in Hebrews 4 and 12, that every word, that the word of Alahym is sharper than a two-edged sword, dividing asunder to the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. It is a tester. You just a dummy. The book telling you that the word is going to reveal the hearts of men. The word is going to reveal the hearts of men. No, don't nobody know the hearts of men. But if you want to know the heart of a man, all you got to do is test them with the word, and their hearts will be made manifest. That's why you say abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. I never talked about that the other day. What you say out your mouth, that's what's on your mind, man. That's what your mind is at. That's what you would think on. They just see that you can't speak on it. It can't be the abundance of your heart if you don't meditate on it. Because if you're thinking upon it, then you know that you trust him, like you said in Isaiah 26, you who mind is stayed on, he trusts in you. See, your mind's not stayed on it because you really trust in yourself. You worship at the altar yourself. For that connection, you feel me? So that word gonna come through and it's gonna test you. Word for trust. It's kasah. It's to put your trust in Alahym, to confide and to have hope in, or to flee for protection, or to seek refuge. Hot samak and hey, when you grab hold of Yahushua, you're separated. That's all he wants you to do. That's all he wants you to do. In on Shabbat, then clean up whatever needs to be clean in Ezra. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, a lot of places we're gonna be looking at. We're gonna look at a lot of stuff in 2 Samuel with some priests. We're gonna be in books. We're gonna go on the law about priests. We're gonna look at all of that. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna look at the name of certain priests, of what they mean, why they mentioned, and how this stuff relates back to the Lord, kind of like what we did. But he's blameless. We read that last week in Job, that Alahym ain't got no iniquity. And we know that Agor is the son and he gathers. Well, we know that Yahusha is going to gather. We're gonna put all that together. If y'all part in this doggone internet, man. I don't know what Comcast got going on, but them niggas trash this present time. But God bless y'all out the house of y'all. In the name of Yahushua, I appreciate you.